Jill Irvine is the Interim Dean of the College of International Studies and will say a little bit more about Chinese studies at OU. Please welcome Dean Irvine.
Thank you all. I'm delighted to be here tonight. It's really a pleasure to see you all in the room, and particularly to welcome our guest, Gigi, tonight. We're really honored to have you. We appreciate you so much being here with us to share this time with you. I'd like to talk just for a few minutes about the College of International Studies at OU, which is the home of the Newman Prize. And we're so pleased about that, and a little bit more broadly about the flourishing state of Chinese and China studies at OU. The David L. Boren College of International Studies was inaugurated in 2011, and the goal of the college was to bring together the myriad programs on campus. There were many. Our faculty are very, very active in the global sphere, to bring them together under one roof and to provide support for them and to all of our colleagues who work across campus on international activities. The mission of the college is to expand the OU international experience and develop compassionate, and this harkens to what Jonathan just said, compassionate, open-minded citizens and leaders by enhancing global engagement and educational opportunities. The college's academic unit is the Department of International and Area Studies. The department has a wonderful group of scholars who work on a range of issues around the world, everything from politics to poetics, and every topic you can imagine in between. We have roughly 350 majors, and our faculty work with those students in the classroom to give them the kind of open-minded, informed, empathetic perspective that we all hope for to create global citizens. Our faculty work on a variety of topics, everything from cybersecurity to social movements to trade and energy, to literature and culture, and really try to bring those together in a way that looks at different areas of the world and focuses on certain regions, but also looks broadly globally. And of course, one of our strengths that we're proud of is looking at China. The College of International Studies is also home to study abroad programs, and because of the very early and very focused way in which the college engaged in study abroad programs, we have been able to be a leader in the variety of programs that we offer and the number of students that go abroad, which is really one of our signature activities. One of OU's longest running programs is actually the Journey to China. In fact, I think it's in many ways a signature program, and it's been in existence since 1997 and has taken many, many students to China. The Journey programs are a little bit special. They're designed to expose students to a new country. Probably most of them have never been to this place before, by taking them with OU faculty around the cities and the rural areas of the country to really give them a broad overview of the country. In the time since the program has been established, we've had over 300 students who have gone on Journey programs to China. And then, of course, we also have many students who go abroad in longer semester-long programs to China to really sink into the language and study at Chinese universities. And finally, our college also offers support to international students. So all international students find their home in the college in the sense that it offers services to them. And of the roughly 2,000 students that we have on campus, a little bit less, that hail from other countries, the largest group is from China. We have, last year we had roughly 500 students here on campus who were coming from China, and many of them with their families, with dependents who were in the schools and and contributing in very many ways to our wider community as well as our OU community. We're delighted to have them here. They strengthen our programs, particularly in engineering, computer science, business and finance, chemistry, biochemistry. They've been a huge asset both culturally, educationally, and every way on campus. In addition to these programs, the College of International Studies is really kind of a hub on campus for international programs, but one of our most important jobs is to support all of the faculty and all of our colleagues who are working in other departments and other colleges across campus on international issues. And this is something that's been a really part of the mission from the college from the beginning. And of course, one of the ways in which we do this is to support our many colleagues on campus who work on China or whose students have an interest in China. OU has a particularly long and rich history, actually, when it comes to focusing on issues related to China, and of course the topic of our interest tonight, which is Chinese literature. The story begins over 90 years ago with the founding of Books Abroad in 1927, which later becomes World Literature Today. And World Literature, if you haven't seen the issues of World Literature, I urge you to do so. It's a wonderful journal, really rich. And as it would be, as it so is, although Chinese literature has been a part of World Literature and before it, Books Abroad, from the outset, this issue that's coming out right now is actually focusing on Hong Kong literature, and it's curated by none other than Tammy Ho, this year's winning juror. And so we're really pleased about that, Tammy. I'm very glad you could be here. In 2010, building upon this legacy, OU, in collaboration with China's Beijing Normal University, launched Chinese Literature Today. And in many ways, what's so delightful about this journal, which has exposed a number of, many actually, English-speaking readers to Chinese literature, is that it is modeled in some ways after the rich and beautiful presentation of World Literature Today. It's a really lovely publication, and again, if you haven't had a chance to see it, I really urge you to do that. It's an amazing journal. It's now published by Routledge Press and is available in over 2,300 institutions worldwide. So it's really been a remarkable achievement. One of the other things I really like about this journal, I think is special about it, is that it also showcases the work of our students, our many students who do in fact take Chinese and focus on Chinese literature. So you can find their pieces in there. It's a real opportunity for them, and it's wonderful to be able to support them in this way. In 2017, OU officially opened the first of its kind Chinese Literature Translation Archive, the CLTA, in special collections in Bazell Library. And I had the opportunity to have my first real tour yesterday, and I was so impressed with what's there. The collection is really remarkable. There are over 12,000 volumes in this collection from the personal libraries of translators Arthur Whaley and Howard Goldblatt, and there are many, many other works there as well by other translators. And what's, again, wonderful about this collection, of course, is that it's open to scholars from around the world who can come and work in this archive and learn about this work. And I would like to ask, are there any scholars here who are using those archives, visiting OU here tonight? Welcome. We really appreciate your efforts and glad you can use those. The University of Oklahoma is also home to the first Confucius Institute in the southern US. And I think that's an important thing to remember about the programming here at OU. The Confucius Institute has really been an important part of our campus life, support for our faculty here, and also as a really good citizen in the community. So the Confucius Institute alone has provided nearly 100 scholarships to Oklahoma students to study in China. And I think equally important as a parent whose children are in the local schools, provides support for instruction in Chinese language in the K through 12 schools. And that's something that I think is quite unusual and has been a real asset to our community. Now, to return to the College of International Studies. The College of International Studies supports a number of regional centers that focus on various areas of the world, including the Institute for U.S.-China issues. And that was founded in 2006 through the generosity of our donors. Harold Newman is here tonight with his daughter. Of course, we'll hear from him later on. We're very grateful for that generosity. The Institute sponsors a number of lectures and programs throughout the year, bringing together high-level policymakers who focus on issues, as Jonathan mentioned, not all of them contentious, not all of them troublesome, all of them interesting. So if you haven't had a chance to attend any of those events, I urge you to do that. They're incredibly informative, and we hear perspectives from people who are knowledgeable and come from many different places. And Professor Kong, who, as the interim director of that, has done a marvelous job. So thank you so much for the work that you've done bringing in those speakers. A new program that we are very excited about, and it's modeled after a program that was started in the Institute, which was a dialogue between US and China policymakers to bring them together to talk about various issues. And we have a new program that is modeled after that, which is it was launched recently by my colleague Jonathan Stelling, the US-China Poetry Dialogue. So in partnership with Beijing University and China's Poetry Society, this initiative brings Chinese and American poets together to spend a week or several days working on poetry together, exchanging views, developing empathy, and of course, spending time when they're here in Oklahoma, learning about this state and the surrounding states and the culture here. And of course, there's the exchange in China as well. And finally, the College of International Studies is the incredibly proud home of the Newman Prize for Literature and the Newman Award for English Iju. I'll let others tell you more about this. We'll hear about it as the evening goes along. But I want to say again how excited and delighted we are to be home to this program. I'm going to turn the floor over next to Professor Kong, who will tell you a little bit more about this prize and also about the Institute and the work that they're doing. Professor Kong is the ConoPhillips Petroleum Associate Professor of Chinese and Asian Studies, and as I mentioned, the interim director of the Institute for U.S.-China Issues. He's a scholar of political economy, works on the intersection of energy, politics, national security, foreign policy, climate change. It's all coming together in really rich and wonderful research. He's the author of 3 books, including his most recent book, Modernization Through Globalization, Why China Finances Foreign Energy Projects Worldwide. So please join me in welcoming Professor Bo Kong.